What's up, folks? My name is Sir Medieval, and today we're coming back for some Chronicles of Elyria, and it's been a relaxing couple of weeks for the world. We've had showcases of the soothing soundscapes of the Wetlands, the Kickstarterversary's official end with Soulbound Studios' response to it, and even some new details on some actual parkour being implemented into the game. And for all of you assassins and thieves out there, you know exactly what that means. As always, we've got a little bit to go over in this video, so without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Starting it off from top to bottom, at the beginning of the month we got a look at some Janoan architecture and a concept sketch from none other than Vi from Soulbound Studios. In this sketch we take a look at how the middle to upper class Janoan might design their buildings. Now for those of you that don't know much about them, Janoans are one of 12 tribes in Chronicles, and they're found natively in the tropical rainforest biome. Because of their developments, they're known for having more developed upper bodies in addition to longer arms, with an average height of about 189 centimeters. The Janoans are in friendly relations with the with the Dras and Kipiks as rivals. Now the buildings in the last set of concept for their architecture post, the buildings there were actually simple buildings with simple materials, usually housing the common folks of the tribe. However, in this sketch, as said before, because of these different types of buildings being more tailored towards the middle class dwellings or civic buildings, they would probably be using more expensive materials for these. And since the jungle floor is tough to build on in general, with their massive root system, dense vegetation, muddy ground, steep hillsides alongside predators, the Janoans have found it practical to instead raise their structures off of the forest floor, with the ground usually becoming the utility floor that leads to the second. And as shown in the building on the top left part of the sketch, Janoans tend to have the more important possessions on the upper floors. Continuing on, if you have not picked a location for domain and settlement selection yet, or you were hoping to do so when able, domain and settlement selection has recently opened back up. However, we have not been able to yet access the land auction. That should be something to expect in hopefully the upcoming weeks, if not months. But overall, once you've got your settlement selected, be sure to input your chosen name as soon as possible so that they can get back to you in time. They also put out a special thank you that they send to all the members of Chronicles of Elyria, talking about how their Kickstarterversary of 2019 was a very good success, and that all in all, they couldn't have done it without all of us. Take a look at it on the Chronicles of Elyria website if you have the time, and be sure to stay up to date on their updates regarding that as well. And for the next section, we'll be diving into their recently released footage of the soothing soundscape of the Wetlands. And in this, we get about a minute and 40 seconds of new content from the pre-Elyria client, which features a character walking around the location of Greenwater, while showcasing off their work in progress textures and building design. Now, alongside the sounds of the environment playing at the same time, as I said before, I really do love the design on their buildings. The rooftop specifically, which is what you also see as the character progresses through town. But on that note, I'll shut up and let's go ahead and play this. Enjoy the clip. And on October 15th, we received news about the Tournament of Champions. In this event, they announced the winners of the event they've been having with what was being branded as the tournament tokens. These tokens were only purchasable from the merchandise store, but allowed you to have a chance of winning the event and coming out with the prize of having the very first Tournament of Champions in their settlement. Alongside each of these tokens also granting you about 150 exposition points for later use for upgrading your settlement before launch. Not only do they receive these rewards for winning, but they will also be coming home with the following buildings to place in their settlement settlement during the exposition phase, a comfy inn, a tavern, and the infamous arena itself for hosting said tourney. There was only one winner chosen per server, and in regards to that, congratulations to the following victors: Idiotic Mad Dog for the Oceania server, RETSIRK for SELENE, the player named Server for Luna, and Raindew for Angelica. It is noted that if the buildings won above are not placed during the exposition phase, that right to host the first tournament of champions will be lost and given to another winner. But I'm sure that the winners will do everything they can in their power to make sure they have space for these great additions to their home. And last but certainly not least, 2 days ago we received a shiny news post from none other than Snipe Hunter himself. And in this post he dives into how lately he's been working on advanced traversal mechanics, aka parkour, as his primary focus. As the lead designer of the game, he's the beginning of the production pipeline. In this visual diagram, he shows us the process of how the ground slide begins. During this post, he also goes into the process of developing the parkour system as a whole. Working with Caspian has allowed him to hash out what was required and what wasn't to get moving through the world feeling good as an adventuring player. He didn't yet know how far you would move while vaulting, which controls you might use to make that happen as a player, how much stamina it would require, etc. His job over the next period was to take those guidelines and rules and translate them into actual descriptions of what it feels like to perform these actions as a player. And once this entire process is ready and done, that's when the rest of the team comes in. At the end of this post, Snipe gives us a video that is for all intents and purposes a very early stage of development, but shows us how the parkour system will evolve as time goes on in Chronicles. This is a baseline version of it, but does look pretty solid so far. My only curiosity is how this will transition to combat situations, and if we'll have people getting kicked in the ankles repeatedly by people that like to spam slide all the time. But that's something I'm sure they'll get into as the system gets more fleshed out. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Without further ado, enjoy the clip. And with that, folks, that is all the details we have to go into for Chronicles of Elyria this week. Be sure to stay up to date on their news posts, dev blogs, and of course the shiny posts themselves. And be sure to like and sub if you enjoyed, and I'll catch you for the next one. Farewell.